As you can see, okay, so a lot of things happened there. We killed the girl, the wizard, then everyone else went to a very low amount of HP. So let's go ahead and shoot another one. Clear them out. An ice arrow. Yep, that was enough to kill her, as you can see. Hello guys and welcome. So I know it's been a while, but we're coming in hot with a Frost Archer build today. Special thanks to D-Man for helping out with the build during the live stream. And yeah, let's go through it. So first of all, we have to talk about the core items. Oh, by the way, if you want access to the spreadsheets and other builds that I'm putting out, you can find them in my Discord channel under links spreadsheets. I'm going to link the Discord link into the description of this video. So you're going to find the Discord link in the description of this video. Links spreadsheets is where you're going to find them. And I just have here. So if you click here on the patch 5, it actually has been updated into a patch 6 spreadsheet. And if you enjoy the content, please drop a like, drop a subscribe. And yes, let's get straight to the Frost Archer. So Frost Archer. What is this build? Again, what is the purpose of this build? So we want to be shooting a lot of arrows on which we are gonna enchant for them to do cold damage, and that cold damage will create surfaces of ice and it will freeze the enemies. And once they become encrusted with frost enough times, then they become frozen and then they're fully incapacitated. So this is a very good damage build, crowd control build, and all in all utility build, because even the surfaces are very good for making the enemies lose their turn if they sleep on them. So I would recommend using arrows of many targets or arrows of ice. Now for additional items, I would recommend either going for, it depends on the build that you're going, but the Deadshot is a very good bow that you can use if you want to get that extra crit chance. Or you can go for the Titan String bow and take an Elixir of Strength, and that would set your strength, as you can see right here, to 27. So the Cloud Giant strength. So a Titan String bow would effectively do plus, how much damage is that? Plus 8 damage per shot. So basically it's a sharpshooter. It's almost as much damage as a sharpshooter. However, the Deadshot, it will deal that 5% extra crit, which is actually quite good. And you get to double your proficiency when rolling ranged attacks with these weapons. So it's much less likely to miss. Alternatively, you can go for Gontre Mile and the Radiating Orb set, in which you will be effectively applying Radiating Orb as well. So this is going to make it even more of a debuff build. So if you want to explore the Radiating Orb Archer build more, please drop a comment and say Radiating Orb or Rorb. And then I'll make a video about just exploiting the Radiant Orb build so that we can actually debuff our enemies very, very much. For other items, I recommend using Brood Mother's Revenge for the extra poison damage, the Strange Conduit Ring for the extra psychic damage, and you could be concentrating on things like Hunter's Mark, yeah, maybe Shield of Faith or Divine Favor. So this will increase your damage a bit. Then Boots of Storm is good because they also work very well with Winter's Clutches and the frost that we're doing. So this will actually increase your damage quite a bit. However, if you use these boots, they do apply thunder damage if you max their stacks of reverberation. So they will break the incapacitation, but it will deal some extra thunder damage. So if you want to go for more damage, go for Starmid Clamor. Otherwise, you can just wear whatever boots you like. And I like using Diadem of Arcane Synergy, but there's so many good options. Anything that gives you Hunter's Mark is good, etc. So up to you, or Hex. So let's talk about the build. So for the build, I've noted down 3 variants. Of course, it really depends, because if you don't want to go with regular bows and you want a dual wield, it changes a little bit, and the second build is better equipped for dual wielding short hand crossbows. So let's go through the build. Oh, before we go through the build, I would recommend using Astarion for this build because he has the extra 1d10 necrotic damage on every weapon attack, and he gets the happy feat, which also gives him plus 5% chance to hit. Otherwise, if you go for races, I would either go for a gnome or a half-orc. Half-orcs because they get that free extra come back to life ability, or a gnome for the advantage on saving throws on wisdom, charisma, and intelligence. For stats, I would definitely start with high dexterity, constitution, and if you want to pick the cleric level, 16 wisdom is going to be amazing. And I do recommend the cleric level because the cleric level will basically give you an extra attack, which is quite useful. So, the fighter build, the fighter variant as you would say, it involves 11 levels of fighter. So on level 1 you're going to get the archery fighting style. Level 2 you're going to get your action surge. Now you can either go for champion or for battle master. Champion will crit a lot more, 5% more often, and since we have a lot of crit boosting items, I would like champion. However, you can also go for battle master to get that precision strike or a disarming strike and a triple attack, etc. Whatever you want to do. It does have a lot more versatility, and it does boost the damage a little bit, so it's really up to you. Then at level 4 you want to get your first feat. It can either be alert or sharpshooter, but I do like sharpshooter more because that damage at that early in the game is really good. And then at level 5 you get your extra attack, and level 6 you get your alert, and then at level 8 you either want to get you want to get your ability score increase in dexterity. But until this point you're going to probably be wearing this graceful cloth armor because it will buff your, because you won't have access to the mirror yet, so you will need that to get your dexterity to 20. But once you get that, then you can just drop the cloth armor and wear something better that's better suited for defense, or wear the luminous armor, etc. Now, and then at level 11 you get another extra attack, which is going to be really useful again. Now for the final level, I recommend going for War Cleric. However, you can also go for Warlock of the Old Gods and apply that fear whenever you crit, which is quite good. Like giving all your enemies fear is one more way in which you can debuff them. Alternatively, if you go for the second build, which is the Bard variant, you will get more attacks. So the first build gets 3 attacks with their actions, but it also gets an action surge, so that 6 attacks burst if you want in one round, plus a 7th attack with your bonus action. However, if you go for the second build, you get 4 attacks, but you can only do that 2 times per short rest. Right, and depends on your charisma, you would have to reallocate your points a little bit. So instead of going for wisdom, you would have to go for charisma, and even the cleric option might be unviable. So you would probably have to also lower your charisma, and it does mess some things up. You could also alternatively just forgo the cleric and warlock and go for druid, and then just dual wield crossbow, so you don't need the cleric build at all, and put the points in charisma, and that would give you 3 bardic inspiration points. And then I'm talking about slashing flourish, by the way. There's a maneuver that College of Swords bards get on their 3rd level, which allows you to do double shot on each attack. So it would be 4 attacks for your action and then 2 attacks with your bonus actions, because you're going to also be Thief Rogue. But this resource runs out effectively. That's what I want to say. That your resource here will run out. And you could give up on the cleric and the warlock build and just go for druid. And go for a spore druid, which will give you 1d6 extra damage on each arrow shot that you're doing. And if you choose to go that round, it's very possible, it's viable again, but you would have to put the points in charisma instead of wisdom, and you might even want to use an ASI to put points in charisma so that you can go 2 full turns with doing max damage. As you can see, my weapon has this buff right now, but what you want to be doing is you want to drop your weapon on the floor, and then you want to equip the glaive. And then the glaive gets this ability, Draconic Elemental Weapon. And then you would choose the cold option and cast it on your weapon. And then you would pick it up and equip it. I can't do it again because you can only do this once per day. However, if you, oh, by the way, you get this glaive in Act 1 from Moonrise Towers. However, if you want to get it, you can also get this spell from a high-level paladin. So if you don't have this weapon and you are in Act 3, then you can just level up a paladin to a high level where they get 3rd level spells. So I think that would be level 10 paladin would have access to this spell, and then you can use the paladin to cast that. I also didn't mention that in your main weapon, you should be holding Rhapsody or Knife of the Undermountain. These weapons are actually really good. Knife of the Undermountain will give you an extra crit chance, and Rhapsody will give you a +3 on your damage rolls and your chance to hit, but not only with your Rhapsody weapon. So it will also work with Titan String Bow or your bow. So it will increase your chance to hit whenever you kill an enemy and your damage. So this is really good. And again, you can also exchange these 2 items for any other item that does extra, that increases your chance to crit. And also, guys, you can also use the Ballast Armor. There's a lot of items you can use. Again, these are my choice. The items right here is what I would use and what would be my default go-to choice. But again, it's really up to you and your playstyle and how you want to play things. So those are the builds, and let's go into what elixirs you should be drinking. So for elixirs, if you go for the Titan String Bow, definitely drink a Cloud Giant Strength Potion. Those are quite rare to find in the game. But again, you can cheese a vendor out by leveling up right in front of them, and then you can just get as many of them as you want. Alternatively, you could go for the elixir that increases your chance to crit, Elixir of Viciousness. This is also a very good option. If you want to go for the dead shot, increased chance to hit with a champion. And of course, Potion of Speed during combat is amazing. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the build. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's test it out against some real enemies. One more thing about your Illithid Powers, I do recommend getting a point in all of them. The reason why I recommend that is that you get Cow the Weak, and that increases your damage by a lot because you get to execute anyone that you hit that's below 30 HP. So this will effectively be plus 20, 30 something HP. So for the preparation round, of course, you need to be drinking Potion of Cloud Giant Strength if you're going for the Titan String Bow. Otherwise, you don't need to. And you could alternatively drink something like Elixir of Viciousness, which increases your chance to crit by 5%, or Bloodlust Elixir for the extra attack. Now for preparation, I would drink a Potion of Speed, and I would also code my weapon 1d10 poison damage. And now we're ready to start the fight. Okay, so we're ready to start combat. We could also use Divine Favor, but our weapon is already coded with Purple Worm Toxin. We could use Divine Favor, however, that would use our bonus action, but maybe that's okay, because it will give us an extra 1d4 damage per turn. Okay, so let's start the battle. So, since we're not playing the Bard, we don't have a double attack, but we have 3 attacks per action, and we can also action surge. So we effectively have 3 actions. So that would be 9 attacks. Well, actually, 1 is a haste attack, so that would be 7 attacks. But yeah, let's start. Let's start with an arrow of many targets on the wizard. And we can guarantee a critical. Sure, let's do it. Let's crit. So right now we have 4 sources plus the coding, which is an additional 1d10 poison. We have Cow the Weak enabled, which is gonna execute everyone that falls below 30 HP. And we also have plus 20 damage on each attack because of the Titan String and the Sharpshooter. As you can see, okay, so a lot of things happened there. We killed the girl, the wizard. then everyone else went to a very low amount of HP. So let's go ahead and shoot another one. Clear them out. That's really good. Alternatively, as you can see, this guy right now is starting to get encrusted with frost. When he gets 7 of them, he will freeze and he will no longer be able to take a turn. And if we get 5 reverberation stacks, he will also take thunder damage and fall prone. Now let's use an ice arrow on him to, you see, give him 2 turns of encrusted with ice. Let's use another one. 6. Now I would be using, now you don't have to be using these arrows of many targets. You could alternatively just do regular attacks, and that's the whole point of this build, is that you don't need to use arrows of ice, because you have the permanent enchantment on your weapon. You could also use smoke powder arrow, which worries me that if it's gonna destroy the encrusted with frost charges. It didn't, but it did set him on fire, and it didn't give him any charges. Okay. As you can see, we have a lot of attacks with this build. Okay. Let me move away from the girl, and then I will shoot her with an ice arrow. Yep, that was enough to kill her, as you can see. And we do crit a lot of the times. So that's what? 2 plus 5 plus 10 from Sharpshooter, plus 3 from the spellcasting ability modifier from Arcane Synergy, plus 8 from the Titan's weapon, and plus 3 from Scarlet Remittance. Oh, that's from the Rhapsody. Yeah, plus 3 from Rhapsody. And then we had 4 cold damage, which also, yep. And then 6 from Astarion's own passive ability, 4 from Psychic, and 1 for Radiant. And we still have attacks to go. So let's keep attacking the guy. Or is there anybody else left? Oh, only this guy left. Okay. As you can see, I think he's immune. Oh, he succeeded his saving throw on being encrusted with frost, which is okay. I will use a smoke powder arrow now. Okay, so he did save against that. So the problem with these Steel Watchers is that they actually have resistance to piercing damage. A good thing. And you can just attack. And if we hadn't used our bonus action to do the Divine Favor, we would actually have an additional bonus action to attack with our War Priest charges. And effectively, we cleared them all out in 1 turn. And yeah, this is one of my favorite builds right now. And it's very good for crowd controlling, it's very good for doing damage, it's very good for many, many things. So, in my eyes, it's one of probably of the best Archer possible builds. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And oof, 15 cold, plus 33 piercing, plus 3 cold, plus 5. Yeah, it is going a bit crazy with damage. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And let me know what you want to see. And if you want to dive into the Radiant Orb build, please drop a comment to let me know. Thank you. Bye.